representatives, for example, 772 or so or more, or whether there will be equal representation by zones, by states, by constituencies, or by senatorial districts, will be left to the president to say.
But initially, we thought it was a conference of ethnic nationalities.
That's what I mean. Really, I think we should define the conference a bit better, and we did that with the committee's report. Therefore, ethnic nationality will be represented definitely,
but it won't be just
how they will be picked, how they will throw up representatives. I am not going to say for the moment, because like I said, we allowed the president to have various options, but we wanted to make sure that we equal representation from every sector, every nook and cranny of the nation, and so one ethnic nationality won't dominate another. For example, the Yoruba ethnic nationality, people tend to see the Yoruba as one block. If you are going to have representation by ethnic nationalities, say one per ethnic nationality, would you give one representative to the Yorubas and one to the 72 odd nationalities that occupy the state of Adamawa or Taraba? Would it not be unfair, unjust to the Yoruba ethnic nation? What the censuses of Nigeria have never really given us the populations per ethnic nationality. So how do we weigh the representation? How many people should represent who? We therefore were ingenious and creative in our recommendations. So we believe that ethnic nationalities will be fully carried along in this process. But everybody, there must be a sense of equality across the board. No one person must be able to dominate the other through the issue of what numbers there are or are not in Nigerian censuses put to each ethnic nationality, each region, each zone, or even either hemisphere, north or south.
So, from the look of things now, previously, while we had so many people come talk about this conference before today, a number of them did suggest that, look, the challenge we've got is that of leadership. And so if we had leadership sorted out, we may not even be talking about having a national conference of any sort. So when you went around and saw all of this and came up with your recommendations, yes, did that recommendations in any way reflect on this thoughts that people have?
Yes, Nigeria is suffering a lot from the absence of quality and dedicated, committed leadership, selfless leadership. But also, again, it's suffering a lot from the existence of unpatriotic, ignorant followership. Because most of us do not know what we should be doing. Most of us do not know what our actions hold in stock for the nation. And for example, the media, with all due respect, in Nigeria has embraced the freedom of speech or writing to the extent of turning liberty into license. And so you don't have patriotism reflected in our reporting of the nation's activities. We don't have the security at the back of our minds.
How do you mean?
For example, if a paper begins to, for partisan reasons, based on ownership of the medium, begins to overflog or overexpose the insecurity of the nation, you will be threatening the fabric of the nation.
Yeah, but who determines what is overflogged or when it becomes overexposed?
Now,
as opposed to the public being interested in it or the public interest story?
Well, if, for example, the public is interested in the fact of how many people, how many times Boko Haram attacks the portions of the nation, you now inadvertently turn the Boko Haram group into messiahs of sorts. You give them a toga of not legality, but a toga of rationality. Now everybody's talking about the fact that it is poverty and lack of development that's making Boko Haram exist.
Even though they're reporting what people have said or what happened.
Well, I think we could take a cue from, say, America.
How?
Well, in America, there was a Boston bombing recently. In England, we had the issue of 2 British citizens or more having been involved in the hacking to death of a British soldier. Now, the reporting, it is not just what you say, it is how you say it. We say it often carelessly. We say it without minding the effects on national security. We may not have the time to go into that area of
I think it's a very
the coloring of reporting, but I don't think it is in doubt that we sometimes, because of our partisan leanings, report things excessively.
It's an argument that could go on, for a longer time than we can imagine, because over there, the partisanship in the media is huge. It's glaring to everyone. It's nothing compared to what happens here. So it's a different kettle of fish.
You see, like you said again, it's debatable because
it's what we've seen, what we've studied, what we've read. So it's a conference matter now, and if this conference goes ahead and holds, one wonders
when it goes ahead and holds.
Okay, you say when it goes ahead.
It's going to hold.
If and when. How about that?
I prefer just when.
Okay, but we're talking about from what we've seen. So that's why we say if and when. So if and when the conference holds, what about that time frame? Because the mindset, people are thinking about elections, and on the one hand, conference is being talked about. How do you think that we will devote that time and concentration, or we will just dismiss that with a wave of hand and not take it as seriously as we would elections?
Elections are very important, but you have to have a nation for you to have elections. And observers of this nation, especially from a security point of view, believe that it's not impossible for the nation to be plunged into a crisis or a series of crises that will rock the very existence of this nation, that will impair the very unity of this nation. So I believe that this national conference, in a sense, even outweighs the elections. Because, yes, we have had elections, we will have elections, but will we ever agree that we came together to agree to be part of Nigeria? Those 2 questions that I will throw up at the beginning must be asked. Do we want to be part of Nigeria? If yes, under what conditions? Okay. And that is very, very crucial. And that will be determined through a national conference.
We'll look forward to all of that. It has a trappings of being very interesting.
It's going to be very, very interesting. Even this tour and so on, people came forward without realizing sometimes that we were not the conference. The conference had not begun. And they put forward, we had somebody that said, there was one person, that said Nigeria must break. And so we have all...
there were not 3.
No, not those 3.
Just
one human being.
Okay.
That said so. And so we are going to have diverse opinions. We are going to have divergent positions. But I believe at the end of the day, we will be able to strengthen our unity and progress, because we will be able to work our commonalities out and resolve our differences. Okay. And now develop our communities.
Mr. Uranta, if I may just come a very quick one. There was a time some people thought you didn't want a conference, a national conference, and now you're in support of this. So what caused the change?
Me?
Yes.
I think it's clear that I was a major proponent of the national conference. Apart from being a member of NADECO, a member of PRONACO, which was about the conference, last year I was part of the committee that put a working committee that convened the first eminent person summit. Which
Was it sovereign national conference you wanted then?
Initially, yes, without understanding the meaning. When you have a sovereign national conference, you are asking the government, the present government must dissolve. And then the conference becomes the government. We don't want that now. There's a democracy in place. There are elected officials in place, and they are doing a fairly good job, but they cannot, and they're not in a position to restructure Nigeria fully and comprehensively.
Okay, Mr. Tony Uranta, thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me again.
And have a Merry Christmas.
You too.